time management a huge challenge for you in your real estate business? It is for most agents. Me too. However, I've learned some great tricks, and I'm here to share with you. My name's Kathy Burns, and I'm a realtor here, and I've been doing real estate since 2006. Yikes. So I was there when the market went up, and also when it went down, up, and now it's down. My point being is, I've been around a little bit, and I've learned some good lessons. I also started in the business when I was dead broke. I knew one person in the whole state, my daughter, and I got into this business thinking I might be able to do it. I had an investment background. I thought, maybe I can do this. My mom did real estate. My father was a builder, and I thought, yeah, I can do this. Sure. So I got started, and I'm sure I got ADD. I'm all over the place, jumping all around. Are you like that? You know, your day just kind of runs you instead of you running your day. Well, my daughter was a mortgage broker, and she was a rock star mortgage broker. Got invited to an event out in California, and she was allowed to bring a realtor. So she brought me. How cool was that? Well, we got to meet, or hear, actually, Michael J. Maher, M-A-H-E-R, out in California, and he spoke about this book that he have, 7L, the 7 Levels of Communication. And it's a story. It's a story about a realtor that teaches him how to get a coach, and he was really resistant to it. The story's amazing. And the whole book is a story, but it's a story on the how-to. And part of the how-to was how to build your business through relationships. And a chapter in there was on time management. So there's 2 components to this video, time management and relationship building. And that's what I'm going to talk about. So stay tuned. I'm Kathy Burns, and please subscribe below if you want to hear things like this and more things like it. So one of the cool things that my daughter did, and you may want to consider this with some other realtors, is she started a mastermind. Now, she was the mortgage broker, right? And so her mastermind invited agents to come in. So for you lenders out there, this might be an idea for you. Or not, you just get a bunch of realtors together and say, we're going to mastermind. We're going to meet every 2 weeks, and we're going to read a chapter of this book, which is what we did. And we were on an assignment of what we were going to commit to doing that next 2 weeks that was going to level up our business. Now, at the time, I was probably making around $40,000 a year, starving, right? And my business jumped up to $100,000 a year because I started following these principles. And I encourage you to do that too. One of the big things was about building relationships with clients. Now, several of my videos talk about how I do that versus cold calling people that I don't know. Now, I just did a video saying how I was calling people that I didn't know, but they felt warm to me because they already had a criteria that I could deal with. They were waterfront people. They were been in their house a long time. I related to their age. For me, I felt comfortable making those calls. But normally, I never like to just go calling cold. I wanted to build relationships. Well, think about this. If you start following some of the chapters and the principles of this book, this is about working with people that you know. How do you get to know people? How do you set up shop? One of the chapters in there, the realtor was set up to go sit in a restaurant and sit in the same spot all the time, get a relationship with the waitress that did that particular section. And so he would be there and he would work for an hour, and he would try and meet clients there, and he would start to become known. That he was a local realtor, and people knew that he was there all the time. And it just started to create a scenario where he built his circle of influence through the waitress, through the different people he would invite there. So the big thing about time management, where he did a whole chapter on time management, this was hard for me because, like I mentioned, I'm all over the place. I'm a squirrel. I even have a little squirrel that reminds me to get back on track, Kathy. So the big thing was we had a paper, a spiral notebook where you could flip your page, and each day you would write at the top, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I did it all the way through Sunday because at that time in my career, I was hustling like crazy, so I worked 7 days a week, a lot of hours. And one of the things was that you broke it down in hourly increments of what you were going to accomplish. You would do this the night before. Now, this is probably something that you haven't heard before, But your reality is, what's your day like? Are you paying attention to what your day's like? Are you actually doing it? So I started to really write it down, and I would do it the night before. So before the day ended, my work day, I'd already lay out my next day. Now, of course, my appointments were factored in there, drive time if I was going somewhere. And then over in the top right-hand section, I would have 5 things that I had to get done that day. You could do 3 things, whatever you do, but you had to get them done that day. They were the top priority over everything. Didn't matter where they fit out in the day, you were going to get them there, right? And then for me, bottom right, I would have things to do that I knew I couldn't get done today. And I would, because I did those pages Monday through Sunday out through the week, I would put in the bottom right-hand side of those pages, these are some things I think I might be able to do on that day. So I started to fill those days up that I could then transfer and take a look. No, that's not going to work today. They were of lesser important, but still important, if that makes sense. So by doing that with the 7 days out, and sometimes even longer if I needed to, because I didn't want to keep rewriting the things to do every single day. So by having those pages Monday through Monday, basically, I could go and you can kind of figure out when you're going to be able to do something that week just based on your calendar. This was not something I put in my calendar on the computer or on my phone. Only my appointments were in there. But I kept that book with me that had those things in there with me everywhere I went because I needed to have that base. The calendar was my appointments so that I could see when I had to do things. And I would work my book around the calendar. And some things were mandatory that I felt I just had to commit to every week. Like on Tuesdays, every Tuesday Eastern Standard Time at noon, I'm part of a coaching thing that happens on production that helps everybody level up their business. You're welcome to that. If you're interested, let me know below because that is powerful. A coach teaches that and this is free. It's not related to any business and I'm inviting you in. If you're following me, you're my guy. I'll help you. Well, anyway, my business did so much better when I followed that. Now, do I get off track? Yes, I do. And what happens to my business? It gets messed up. So that's how I always bring myself back. That's why I bought the little squirrel on Amazon to remind me when I start complaining when something's not going right. How do I get it right? I look at the squirrel. I'm like, all right, get back to that time management. I need it because I'm easily distracted. Now, my dogs distract me because I work from the house. Do you have dogs? Because mine just bug me like crazy. Anyway, those are some tips that I've gotten. I've got lots and lots more. If you're in the business a while, you start to learn a lot of things from trial and error too, but also a lot of grit because you got to get it done. Remember I said I was broke. I figured things out and I did not have a budget to do it. So I figured out how to do it. I'll be happy to tell you, I met Michael Mayer in person in Cabo San Lucas last year. He's at EXP. You may want to consider that too, but that's another subject. We'll talk about that later. So anyway, subscribe below, hang out with me, lots of tips. Look forward to helping you.